I wanted to talk about this subject yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to. I had a very busy evening, so I wasn't able to get around to doing it. But I want to talk about this supposedly Eddie Hearn trying to make a home office here in the United States and looking to sign more American fighters. And in particularly these two gentlemen here, the Charlo brothers, and why I feel that this is just, another mistake in a long line of mistakes that Eddie Hearn is making and overplaying his hand. First of all, the Charlos do not need Eddie Hearn. As evident of Danny Jacobs and ticket sales for this fight that is the first fight in which Eddie Hearn is representing Danny Jacobs. Not too successful, buddy. Not too successful. Been very interested to see the viewership for this fight when it pertains to Danny Jacobs, because I've been on the record of saying that Eddie Hearn is making a miscalculation. He believes that the same approach he takes over there in the UK will work here in the United States, and it's not. It's not going to work. And you're starting to see it already with a lot of the fan backlash. A lot of fans are getting frustrated with Eddie Hearn here in the United States because we don't want to hear all this talking. Listen, this is the United States of America. There are car salesmen on every block. We encounter them every day. We know the game. We just want to see results. We don't care how you know numbers like you know your own ass. You're not saying that may work over there in the UK, right? That slick, illusionist tricks, wordplay, that may work over there, but it doesn't work here, okay? And we're not buying it. And a lot of people are already starting to see that. And let me tell you another thing. You go into negotiations, or rather you go and immediately, the way you treated the Boxing Voice, right? And then you watch how he treats IFL TV, completely different. And IFL TV is biased as hell in their coverage of boxing. Yet you immediately call out an American boxing forum and format and platform and media outlet. You immediately attack it. You're going about this the complete entire wrong way, and you're not going to gain American fighters that way. In fact, you're not going to gain American fighters because solely for the fact that how you treated Al Haymon. So you wouldn't do business with Al Haymon, right, when it comes to the Deontay Wilder fight, but you will do business with Al Haymon when it comes to other fighters, because in order to, let me tell you something, the man who you need to speak to here in the United States is Al Haymon. Al Haymon is a very, very good financial backer. Not only that, the fact that you, in that very same interview with the Boxer Voice, you disrespect Al Haymon subtly and slickly to try to question his finances and talk about how he's spending money for the PBC and like rumors. You are making every miscalculation that you can possibly make. And what's fundamentally frightening is that there are a lot of the people who support you who don't see it, because they're thinking that the same formula that you implement over there in the UK is going to work here. Here in the United States, bro, we need results. I'm going to tell you right now, if I have a checklist, how you promoted Danny Jacobs in this recent fight, you failed. The ticket sales, you failed. And I'm going to be watching for the viewership count for this fight. And I guarantee you're going to fail on that. So if you want to sit there and attract other fighters to your stable for an American hub office, you've already out the gate tripping over your feet. And that's facts. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it, but it's the truth. I don't have to sugarcoat it. I don't have to sweet talk it. I don't have to spray scented candles in the air. None of that. I'm just keeping it real with you. Eddie Hearn is tripping over his own feet right out the gate. And this is only going to backfire on him. What do you think happens when other fighters get whim of, oh, wow, so shit, to make a fight with Eddie Hearn here in the States, everything has to be on his terms. Well, who is he? Who is he? Who is he to dictate terms? When we got Al Haymon, while we have other investors, Showtime works in tandem with Richard Schaefer raising capital for fights. Eddie Hearn is a drop in the pond here in the United States. And that's where it's fundamentally going to start. The reality will start to set in for a lot of you guys. And the reality will set in for Eddie Hearn. So I'm not too worried about this latest situation where Eddie Hearn has rejected the offer for $50 million, because reality will set in very, very quickly when he starts making fights here in the United States. Because I can tell you, if a guy who claimed that he had such clout and he ran boxing and he knew the numbers and he knows how this sport works, Danny Jacobs, this fight would be a heck of a lot, especially in light of the fact with the whole Charlo situation, where Danny Jacobs and Charlos had a little beef going. You didn't see Eddie Hearn anywhere near that. Fundamental flaw. See, the things you do over there in the UK, Eddie, that works over there in the UK. Things you need to do here in the United States, Eddie, you don't know what you're doing. And it's going to be very, very evident very, very soon and very, very quick. You can count that. How are you going to disrespect the American media, disrespect the American fight fan, disrespect the American investors and the capitalists, and then expect to work with them? You have got to be out of your mind. You have got to be, like he was sitting up there disrespecting Ness. You have got to be on something. And you see a lot in the comment sections of the Boxing Voice, the legion of Eddie Hearn fans. And it is mind-boggling to me. It truly is, that we're now in an age where guys are not even a fan of the fighter. They're a fan of the guy who represents the fighter. Look at that drastic disconnect as to what it should be about. Eddie should work for Anthony Joshua, not Anthony Joshua work for Eddie. But you have legions of Eddie Hearn fans, or shout out to somebody in my comment section. He wrote English muffins. English muffins. You have legions of English muffins who are going on there disrespecting, Ness, disrespecting Ness for just standing up and asking the questions, the hard questions, the tough questions, not appeasing someone in an interview just so you can gain an interview. The facts are the facts. Eddie Hearn needs us as the fight fans. Eddie Hearn needs us as the viewers to make his campaign here in America successful. Why the hell would you go start off that way? I'll tell you why. Because his arrogance that he's able to put on display in the UK works. Because he's surrounded by others who are just as equally as arrogant or who share his sentiments. He is now here over here in the States, and he is going to do more harm to fighters than he does benefit. And that's it.